Well, Mayor de Blasio is in the hot seat, facing mounting criticism for the city's delayed decision whether to take disciplinary actions against NYPD officer Daniel Pantaleo for his role in Eric Garner's death. At a press event Wednesday, Governor Cuomo said, quote, "This is an issue that should have been handled by New York authorities much early on." At a Garner rally Wednesday, public advocate Jumaane Williams said, quote, "You cannot be president, you cannot be the Democratic nominee if Daniel Pantaleo is still on the force." Several city council members have joined Garner's family calling for de Blasio and Police Commissioner James O'Neill to fire Officer Pantaleo. Pantaleo placed the 42-year-old and father of 6 in a chokehold before his death in 2014. Question now, how does this affect de Blasio's presidential campaign? Of course, we want to bring in our A-plus panel to discuss this. We have joining us today communications strategist Ronica Cleary. Ronica, how are you?
It's good to be here, thanks.
Also, Garland Nixon, radio talk show host. Garland, how are you?
Wonderful.
So, Garland, we want to talk to you first. Talk about this delayed response. Of course, Mayor de Blasio's administration is saying they were waiting for the Department of Justice to decide whether or not they were going to bring civil rights charges. But did de Blasio and Commissioner O'Neill have to wait?
No, they didn't. And in fact, most of the time, the police departments will act for this reason. There's a significantly higher standard of proof for a civil rights case to move forward with a civil rights case as opposed to what they'll have to do internally in an administrative hearing to get rid of, to fire Officer Pantaleo.
Sure. Ronica, as of course Mayor de Blasio is running for president, even with issues at NYCHA and the dilapidated subway system, and of course just some of the other problems in New York City, how does this impact his presidential bid?
I think that strategically the decision doesn't help, but I do think the fact that Mayor de Blasio is championing the idea of due process. He says, look, right or left, due process is something that's afforded to all of us in America. I think that's an important message, but strategically as a presidential candidate, I don't know that the decision to, at a minimum, not weigh in, at least with how he feels, I don't know that that is a helpful move for him, but let's be honest. Mayor de Blasio is not winning the nomination, no matter what.
Well, question to both of you. If de Blasio and Commissioner O'Neill decide to fire Officer Pantaleo, how does that affect his campaign? Will that advance Mayor de Blasio at all?
Yeah, I think it will. I think it will. Among some people, it would certainly help him. I think Mayor de Blasio should not only explain that he's dealing with the issue of due process, but explain the due process. Because what happens oftentimes is that when this type of an administrative process is going on, the chief executive, the mayor in this instance, can't speak about the issue. They have to be very careful because if the officer is fired, it will give them grounds for appeal.
I will say this, though, the fact that he didn't do it, right, if you will, the first time, fully explain why he can't weigh in, fully explain why he's saying that due process needs to be exercised here. Now he just looks like he's pandering.
Right. All right, guys, we're going to leave it there. Thanks so much.